nerdlings, welcome to the Nerd Cult, a not-so-secret society dedicated to all things nerdy. As usual, I am 1/3 your host, Tyler Lee.
I'm your cult leader, Brock Parsons.
That was a pregnant pause.
That was so pregnant.
So pregnant.
I'm not pregnant. I'm Josh. Josh Forrester. Hello.
I got nothing for that.
Hi, not
What's
pregnant.
the deal with these pregnant pauses?
Hi, listeners.
We got twins with that pause.
We are coming off a second episode recording right after another one, so we might be a little loopy at this point.
To try to make up for lost time, so to speak.
And there was a lot of lost time. You guys might have noticed we were gone for a while. Why, you ask?
Yeah.
Because we're fucking adults with life and we don't get paid to do this, so...
Well,
Some of it was planned. Like, at first it was like, oh yeah, we'll just take a week off because it's been crazy busy.
Yeah.
Well, it started. So we had what we called a walkout because we're not allowed to strike in Oklahoma as
Josh is a teacher for
government
a reminder.
workers. Yeah. So we walked out as a teacher. So during that week. At the end of the week, actually, my wife had a child, so that's what set this all into motion.
Who you met during our D&D one-shot.
Yes, as the terrifying
That's true.
background
He was the
noise.
frog. Yeah.
As you say the terrifying background noise, I think what you mean is the kind of adorable, like, frog background
true.
noise.
Yeah.
He's the
Cute baby
co-star,
noise.
really.
Frog creature.
Cute baby noise.
He's also in the upcoming episode of Tales from the Crits, where I think we're talking about children and babies, and then all of a sudden you hear.
Yeah, scared the shit out of me because we were talking about a ghost baby in the room where we were D&D'ing, and then all of a sudden I hear, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was
That's
perfect.
incredible.
So the teachers
that
actually did a walkout an entire week after that week, but of course we were in the hospital and all that, taking care of a newborn, so we didn't get to participate in the last week, but unfortunately that came to an end without any real headway being made besides raises for us, which wasn't what the whole thing was about. It was about raising money for education, which, I mean, giving teachers raises is part of that because our teachers won't go to other states. Our best teachers won't go to other states because they actually live nicely in Oklahoma now, hopefully, if it gets passed.
Hopefully. Yeah, assuming it actually still passes.
Because there's a guy by the name of Tom Coburn who's going around and trying to get signatures of people to...
He literally fucks in.
Literally.
Can I say something?
Literally.
Can I say something? If you are
Yes.
a person,
And figuratively.
if you are a person that actively campaigns to get teachers to make less money, you're a trash human being.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're the
Pedophile.
worst.
Yeah.
Right?
Just the word.
And he can do this now because he's not a politician. He quit politics. He used to be House Representative of Oklahoma, I think.
He
right?
quit politicianing.
Yeah, to go into politicianing slash what is it called?
Slash
lobbying.
what it's actually called, not politicianing.
Yeah. So
Not
the people that
politicianing.
actually do stuff, the lobbyists, that's what he does now. And so,
Oh, perfect.
and then and it's not like he's getting
crap human
legitimate people to sign up for this. He's using the entire group is using all these like propaganda tactics to make it sound like it's not what it actually is, and to make it sound like it's for the future of all our children and stuff like that. And it's really just terrible, awful policy by a trash human being.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's what you want from your politician.
That's what you want. Yeah.
Corruption. Yeah.
Absolute corruption.
Weird. Yeah. So that's horrible. So that's
where
what
it
you're
started.
dealing with.
Yeah. That's where
That's
all
where it
this
started. Where all of it began.
Because we were going
'Cause
to
I wanna
record
say-
that Sunday, but she had Link Sunday. So
Yeah, it was like
So
that
wait,
day.
are we saying that all of the problems we've had on this podcast is directly responsible, or is directly related, and because of low pay for teachers in Oklahoma?
yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
I'm on board with that.
because literally Lacey was walking at the Capitol with me, going and talking to politicians the day before she went into labor. So
Dedication, people.
Wow.
Dedication.
Could have lasted another day in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all that walking just pushed him on out.
That's another reason I couldn't be a teacher, because I'd have lasted one day at that and then wouldn't have been allowed back because I'd have punched somebody in the face.
I was so collected. I was pretty proud of myself. I didn't think that I had that in me, but I was very calm. Laid out
And you had a kid.
laid out my arguments, yeah, and then had a kid.
Very calm, had a kid. You've
like
calmed
that.
down a little bit since you had a kid.
Yeah.
You're like God.
Yeah,
you're like
just like
you're like
God,
yeah.
you're like God from Old Testament to
if
New
that's true.
Testament.
Yahweh's cool now.
He was
a grandpa.
I mean, he was killing children with bears, and before he had a kid, and then he had a kid, and he chilled out a little bit.
To be fair, those kids called one of his prophets bald. So
Yes. To be fair.
that's
Yahweh had his reasons. Okay.
Yep. Why did
Yahweh
he
works in
turn?
mysterious ways.
Why did he strike that woman into a pillar of salt? Oh, she turned around and looked at her city that she'd called home for years and years and years as
said
it was
not
being
to,
destroyed. He said
alright?
not to.
you just don't get them
Wow.
like I do.
Just
You just
It's like an abusive relationship.
That's 100.
No, he changes. I swear.
I'll agree with you. Okay, I'll
You don't
give
get
you
to
that.
see him in the sweet times.
Yeah. God hasn't abused us in a long time.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Except for
He's been-
Katrina, that was
yeah.
because of the gays.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Happy Pride Month.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back, everybody. We make the worst jokes, and they are jokes. I promise.
They're jokes, I swear.
Swear to God.
And then we're punished.
We're some of the most open-minded people you'll meet, but man, we got jokes. Just go listen to our Infinity War one we just did, and you get to hear us talk about how we have crushes on like Paul Bettany and how we think that who was a super handsome individual. Was it Paul Bettany? Super handsome individual.
Hulk. Literally
kept
the Hulk.
talking about Paul
when he's the
Bettany.
Hulk.
Yeah, we were talking about Paul Bettany and how we all have a crush on him because
Well, the Hulk is
Paul
cute,
Bettany.
but Bruce
Well, but
Banner
we talked about
is too
Hulk
hairy.
downstairs.
'Cause
really.
Josh was like said something and we thought he was talking about Jeremy Renner not being attractive, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Girl. Stop.
Yeah, that's how it went.
Like three Thanos snaps.
3.
Oh, everybody's dead at
What are
that
we
point.
down to? An eighth of the population now?
All right. Well, okay. Well, we shouldn't get into
16.
spoilers with. This is not the Infinity War podcast.
Oh,
So.
ignore that.
Good point. Yeah. So cut. Josh is
Josh
gonna be editing.
Josh is
He's gonna be
editing
remembers to
because
cut it out.
my world has also been thrown into disarray. Not because of low teacher pay, but just because I just have shit going on.
Yeah.
Yay.
Also, we missed like a week because my laptop was just like, hey, you know how I turn on most of the time? I'm not gonna do that this time.
Most of the time.
Yeah, that was much more recent.
Yes.
too.
It turns
When that
out.
happened. Like we finally had our stuff together collectively, and we were ready
Yeah,
to
and
go.
I shot that in the ass.
And well,
Your
yeah.
laptop
I mean,
did.
technology. The
And then
gremlins, maybe.
got a new
gremlins.
battery, and it's working fine. Now I'm just
good.
going to be nervous for the rest of my life that I have the laptop. Like,
Yeah.
when something electronic
Yeah,
goes
like,
wrong,
when's
and
this
then
gonna
you can't
happen?
ever sleep after that.
Can't trust him. Can't sleep. I'm losing my mind
No.
because
Had
of
a-
my laptop.
Had a lot of stuff going on. Had that going on. Had some stuff with my work. Had a possible 1 or 2 maybe voice acting opportunities come my way, which I've always been wanting to do. By the way, anybody listening out there, if you'd like any kind of voiceover or voice acting work, I don't have a lot of experience, but I can do it and would like
Also-
to.
He's on the market.
Also, if you want to voice act, we might be having something coming up soon. Maybe. Possibly.
Something that we literally just talked
we need
about.
to. We need
We
whatever
literally
we're,
just came up with.
whatever we're talking
get to
about. There will be no semblance to a schedule to it.
So if you like working odd hours, never
whenever.
knowing when, for no money, but for lots of fun and good times.
If you'd like to hear your friend.
When did you pause it, and for how long? I mean, I mean, I don't gotta do it, so it doesn't bother me.
Oh my god, yeah. We should just stop everything and record anew.
So Brock, segue. What have you been doing?
No,
Aside from
I wasn't gonna let that be.
accidentally pausing and ruining everything. We had a moment just then. So as Josh was having a baby and bringing life into the world and walking out of the classroom to hopefully get better pay, while all that was happening, we were in the middle of having a vacation planned, and I should note that like the whole past year has been really stressful for a variety of reasons. Like ever since we moved into the house, it's been stressful for one thing or another. Part of it's been like stuff going on with my family. Cynthia has been taking care of an elderly grandfather who was like one of the only people she had left, and Cynthia's my wife, by the way, in case you guys don't know, our listeners. So she's been taking care of.
Yes, thank you for saying listeners. I thought you were talking like to me and Josh.
Yeah. By the way,
in case you didn't know,
Josh.
And I was gonna be like, I stayed at your house like months ago.
I live in Ada, Oklahoma. So that was ongoing. He eventually. I like that, right?
my word.
Oh,
So,
Jimmy, he lives in Ada, Oklahoma.
so my family, meanwhile, has been like they have like a terrible mold house, and they've been trying to like move all the stuff. It's like my childhood home. We've been there forever, trying to get out of it for like the past year, and like all at the same, like everything happened at the same time because Cynthia's grandfather was in the nursing home, and it just kept getting more and more stressful. She was like trying to sell his house and like trying to do all this stuff, and then right before our vacation, which was happening at the same time that Josh was having his baby, her grandfather passes away. We're trying to plan a funeral around our vacation. We come back like after 4 or 5 days. Our vacation was great, by the way. I'll mention that in a second. So after we come back, we have to do a whole funeral, and then like exactly at the same time, almost, my parents decide that they're gonna move. And so then I have to help them move. And it's been a wild ride, but thankfully things, aside from like a few weird, unrelated to me and my wife things, like everything's pretty great now. So that's good. But it was like it just destroyed every free weekend I had, basically. So it was like a good month and a half, I think, of trying to play catch up after that. One thing I will say though, our vacation was like the best 4 days of our lives.
Where was it? The Virgin Islands?
We went to the Virgin Islands. We went to St. Thomas. We don't have passports, so we went to St. Thomas.
What is it like? What is it like to be able to do something like that?
Well, like really, I just keep reminding myself, especially after our high school reunion. Not to say that anybody's like not well off or anything, but my high school reunion was yesterday, our 11 year, because our class is not good at planning things. That's something.
Because millennials have destroyed
anybody from our class,
reunions.
like, it's too bad that we couldn't have. We had like 156 people, and like 10 people showed up. But it just made me think, like, oh hey, I'm thankful to be in the middle class. Like, that's nice. Mm-hmm. That's a nice thing I have going for myself.
There you go.
Yeah,
I can take vacations.
middle class.
That's nice. I will say, I mean,
why
St.
didn't you
Thomas
go
was-
to the Slut Islands? I hear those are better than the Virgin Islands.
Well, let's
Wow.
just say when we were done with the Virgin Islands, they were.
They were whores.
We had sex
So,
with that island.
listeners, 2 jokes were just made right there, and Brock's was pretty clever.
What? No love for the Slut Island?
And that's really all I have to say about that.
I would never slut shame an island, so.
I'm not. Yeah, sluts are good.
Good job, Josh. Good job. Good recovery. That's the best.
Oh yeah, sluts are good. Josh Forrester.
Quote. This is why I can't run for office.
Let's save this episode right now.
I would never slut shame. And then Josh goes, no, sluts are good. You're like Kelso from that 70s show.
as my friend Travis once said, and Josh has met Travis. Travis told me once, "Boobies is good," and that's a quote I'm going to remember.
And truer words have never been spoken.
Never been spoken.
Very similar quote. So yeah, those islands, we had sex with them, and they are not virgins anymore.
They are.
I highly recommend that vacation. Also, if we'd had time for a podcast, I was going to recommend Airbnb so hard because I've never got a chance to use it. I've always been really skeptical. I hated the horror stories I've heard. Like, people have had just weird, and I was uncomfortable with it. I didn't like the idea. But basically, like, we were going to go to Hawaii, and ticket prices were like double what we thought they were going to be. I'm not really sure what that's all about, but I mean, we knew it was going to be more expensive.
Airline tickets or what?
Yeah, airline tickets mostly. So we ended up we were like last second, 2 weeks away from vacation time. We were like, let's check out St. Thomas. I've heard good things. And I think our Airbnb was like, I mean, don't pin this on me. It was like 120 or 140 or something a night, but it was like on the ocean. Like literally, the ocean was right there. The windows were open. You just saw and heard only the ocean. We had a whole private, like, there was nobody else around. It was amazing.
That is awesome.
Like, you could walk outside naked and just be naked right there if you wanted to.
That's so cool.
It was sweet. And not only
are
that,
you allowed to, like if somebody saw you, could you get in trouble, or was it like just so private that
there wasn't going to be anybody to see you?
That's so awesome.
Part of it too was the hurricane destroyed the only neighbors there were, because there were two neighbors that would have been like, oh, I don't want to go outside naked, but the hurricane, they're still recovering from that, which might have been why it was such a cheap trip. But
true.
The other awesome thing was, like, the whole time I was just in direct contact with our Airbnb host. She was just like, she gave me directions, she gave me like a giant list of places to call, and it was like updated post hurricane, and she was like, yeah, and I'll be around like 24/7, even if you just need like advice on where to go, or like where to get gas, for instance, or like anything.
It's above and beyond.
I mean, yeah, it was like way above and beyond, and she even is going to give us a discount if we come use her again, which we would, because it was perfect.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Cannot beat Airbnb. And then we gave each other good reviews, because you can do that. So pretty sweet. Hard to beat that. So we had the best 4 days ever, despite all the crazy stuff going on. And then seems like everything's like better since then. I don't know if
that's good.
I don't know if like time is better, but I definitely have more time than I did. Jeez.
Yeah.
Such a time.
I thought about using Airbnb for Italy, which we're not going to be able to go anymore because first, having a child is a little expensive.
Ask about that.
But we literally had pretty much everything that could go wrong financially. Like, we had to pay for the electric panel, which we talked about in a podcast before that. And then our air conditioning went out recently, and then we had to spray for like these really specific bugs that it's really hard to get rid of, so that was expensive. And then what else? Just insane, stupid things. Oh yeah, and it turns out we ended up paying like $3,000 to the hospital, and we found out that wasn't what we thought that was the bill after we got insurance. Turns out insurance was like, no, we're gonna deny you coverage for having a child. We're like, what? So apparently I hate insurance companies so much.
I was gonna say, you pay so much for insurance. You're a teacher.
Right.
I know that you do.
Yeah.
And it still didn't. What?
No, but apparently it was. Even though she did all the paperwork and she turned it in on time, apparently they just didn't see it or refused to see it or whatever it was. Her putting Lincoln on her insurance, and so they're acting like he wasn't insured at the time, even though you have like a 30-day period, and she actually did it and filled out all the paperwork, and we for sure mailed it in and all that
Lincoln?
stuff. So.
Isn't Lincoln his name?
Yeah.
What was she supposed to put?
Well, apparently they never got that paper, or they got it later. It's just insurance trying to screw us over. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you fighting it, or can you fight it?
Yeah, we are for
Okay.
sure. we'll get. So we'll probably get money back.
What
from
I
that,
mean
'cause we
is, are
probably
you
didn't have to
finding their
spend
local place
that
and
much.
burning it to the ground?
Right? Like, yeah, whenever she called and they said, oh, you weren't covered, I was like, are you kidding me? What?
Like after all that, after having
Yeah.
insurance this whole time.
Hey, you're not
Yeah.
covered. Hey, that's not something to joke about, but you better be joking.
Right? Yeah.
Just like tell them straight faced, like, I'm gonna train my boy. He's gonna come for you. 16 years from now.
He's gonna
come
know
for
the
you.
ways of Bushido.
Why
When
six?
you least
Why
expect it.
16? Just curious.
17 is the age that you can murder a man.
Except he'll be except he'll be 16.
Well, 17 revenge murders don't count.
He's been around
to
a
get
whole
it.
year, right? I'm just kidding.
No, no,
To get there.
not even close.
I just wanted to freak out Josh a little bit.
Was he like?
So I haven't get to see
was he
your
like
child
5
yet,
now?
by the way.
Kindergarten?
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
he? What's he? 5?
Yeah.
Josh
Can you
probably.
Yeah,
Josh
something
is
like that.
Josh is a dad now, so he probably doesn't want to joke about that.
No, he has a job now, so that's pretty sweet.
What's his job?
What is his? That's
He's
my.
a voice actor now.
Well, fuck off. It's just mean.
But yeah, you haven't met him yet, have you, Brock?
No,
Even though you
no,
live in the
there's
same
been
state.
like a couple times where I've come close to being able to visit you, but
Yeah, we
I-
almost did yesterday, but I had to go and see Solo.
I certainly have not met him.
Yeah, that probably won't happen for a while.
Oh well, thanks.
I thought you were just gonna stop. That probably
Ever.
won't happen.
Like I am gonna come
That's
down to
all.
visit at some
Wow.
point.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back, dude. Come on.
I'm not gonna let him see you.
Or like, we'll visit him. I don't know.
You try
Uncle
and
Tyler.
you try and stop me, Josh.
I'm gonna see your child.
That's what I throw down to that. It's like I'm not gonna let him see you. While you try and stop me.
I will be found. I will be seen.
Uncle Tai Tai.
You won't even know it.
Call it, yeah. God, that's kind of creepy.
It was a little creepy. Yeah.
Like in the shadows, just like, what are you doing in my son's room?
I've been watching your son through the window at night.
Shining
Watching-
lights and
Shining light on his face.
teaching him about the stars.
Just so many comments.
It's been the baby. I've been the babysitter you hired like a long time ago, like to watch him. I just pulled the mask off and I was just like, it was me all along.
I'll say. I don't know why I'm there.
Thought your name was Becky.
Brock's my accomplice. Brock was my inside guy. He's the one who got me inside.
I'm actually your baby.
He was too
Pull your
inside.
baby's face off, and it's actually Brent Brock the whole time.
Where? I was convinced.
You wonder why it's been so busy for me. Baby?
I have
To be honest, I am shocked.
no idea how we'd pull this off, but whatever.
Tyler just wanted to see me.
That was all it was. Just a heartfelt story of Tyler just wanted to see his friend.
That's nice.
That is
Yeah,
nice.
Really nice
It's like
story,
Mrs.
actually.
Doubtfire.
It was a
kinda
nice
wholesome.
feeling at the end.
Like Mrs. Doubtfire, but like creepier.
Like everybody's like really smiling and then like they think about it and they're like, wait, why the hell was he the baby?
Yeah. Actually, I feel like it would shift to you because it'd be like, Tyler, why have you been masquerading as the babysitter? And then it's like, wait, Brock, you've been masquerading as the baby? Suddenly, what I did doesn't seem so weird.
Wow.
I know he'd been getting big, but
Golly. I'm just me with some like baby clothes on.
Is this our? This is actually we're brainstorming the script for our radio drama right now.
yes, it's got to be like a soap opera.
So I think this is an excellent idea that we were talking about right before this podcast. Which is what we're talking about right now.
okay. I'm glad you
Yeah,
clarified
we're
because I was
doing
like,
it.
that was a
Yeah.
joke, Brock. This is a shitty
No,
idea
no.
for a story.
No, not
Do
that
not
part.
disguise
Jesus
yourself as
Christ.
my child.
Not that part.
Jesus. My God.
My Lord.
Honestly.
Good God, man. Honestly.
No, we went into
yeah.
this not having a plan for the podcast, just to get everybody
You
up to
couldn't
date.
tell, yeah.
Yeah, and so then we started brainstorming about, what's another thing we could do?
Yeah,
we don't have
because we
time.
don't have time to do podcast, so we started brainstorming about what else we could do in addition to the podcast.
But it's a really good idea. You're gonna like
it is.
Collectively,
Especially if we ended up doing it. Yeah.
we decided to do something that takes more time than a podcast.
Yeah. But it can be done more sporadically.
It could be dude.
It can be dude. It can be good.
This is off on the right.
Infinity War.
This is
Dun, dun,
on the
dun,
right
dun.
track right now.
Yeah, so what's the idea? Pitch it to me. I haven't heard it yet.
The idea is
your
that's
idea.
a lie. We talked about it right before we got on here. But anyways,
Yeah.
the idea is, I believe, a scripted radio drama, which is really just an excuse for us to write scripts and do voice acting.
Admittedly, it kind of combines all the things that we enjoy doing, but it's not all.
You were gonna
just
say all
combined
the
into
things
one.
we're good at, and I was gonna be like, let's not get carried away.
I didn't go that far.
Exactly, you didn't.
Enjoy,
Very good.
yeah.
Things that bring us
Things that
joy. We're not that
like.
great. We're not that great at any of this stuff, but
Yeah.
So what kind of genre of radio drama would we do?
I am. This is just me, obviously. I am always a big fan of like kind of fantasy adventure kind of stuff, where there's like a lot of drama, decent amount of action.
Sure.
Do you like mysteries?
Mysteries are good. Mysteries are. I was gonna say like kind of, yeah, like mystery thriller kind of stuff.
Like,
Would
what were
we
those
do-
old-timey ones? Like, what were those called?
Radio dramas.
Well,
Like
like they were specifically like mysteries, like Sherlock Holmes style.
Oh yeah, the ones. Yeah.
I'm not sure what they're.
I don't know if they even have a name.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure what they're called otherwise. Were we thinking like, and I mean, I'm sure it would change depending on how long we did it, like just one long story over the course of many months, or like just one-off things, or like.
I like.
Brock and I were actually, or not Brock and I, but Tyler and I were actually talking about that.
Same thing.
Before we were, yeah, same thing. Before you got on about episodic versus long stories.
I like the idea of not having a set ending for like the story or anything, but I like the idea of just telling the story until it's told. So,
Fair.
not episodic, but definitely long form. But not being like, this is going to go for a year or so. You know, if it goes for like
Yeah,
6 months,
sure.
it goes for 6 months and we'll do another one. But yeah, like long form, not episodic, I was thinking.
Sure.
Because like Josh said, we like prefer that.
I would love to like mix up genres too. Like, you know, we finish with one and then we just do something way different. Just
I think
for
that,
fun.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
could be done.
Yeah.
Like sci-fi to like noir to
Yeah.
like yeah, pretty cool.
I'm one of the guys who like I don't know. I like the story about like heroes and villains, but I like deep stories that aren't simple about heroes and villains. Like I like
Gray.
I like flawed heroes and redeemable villains and stuff like that.
Sure.
That being
Definitely.
said, all the D&D I've ever done, do you know what my favorite character to like voice and play is actually?
Who?
A super evil person. It's like Josh, you've
It's a
done
lot of
some.
fun.
It's fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I played Judd Fry in Oklahoma one time. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, I
just
bet that.
pure
Yeah,
evil.
I was like, I bet that was fun.
Yeah, just creepy and weird and
Yep.
Definitely.
angry. Yeah,
They're the best because you're not evil, so you get to like have that outlet to like do the cool voice and like be that dick and just that evil person.
Yes.
It's just fun.
I love that our
Never get to do
listeners who aren't from Oklahoma are probably thinking like, oh, of course he was in the play Oklahoma. Like, of course
Don't
he
even
was.
get me
He was-
started on that.
everybody that's in Oklahoma has been in the play Oklahoma.
My house is a
It's
teepee.
required before you graduate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
I live up here in Minnesota,
Just
so
the
when they're like Oklahoma, I go, yeah, it's like kind of like the Mighty Ducks for you guys.
Yeah,
It's true.
or Fargo. That's what I think.
Except Fargo.
Yeah, you guys do have Fargo now.
Except, well, okay, here's the deal, and here's what bugs me about Fargo, is Fargo takes place in Minnesota. Fargo is in Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Fargo,
feel like-
Minnesota, though.
I mean, we have a couple things.
No one really talks like that up here either, by the way.
When we visited Maine a couple years ago, like most people sounded kind of normal. Yeah, the Boston ones I couldn't get used to, but then there was like one person from Canada that was like, "Oh, how are you doing there?"
Canada's got accents. Canada's got accents.
Calm it down.
So you'll visit Maine, but you won't come up here? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well,
you know, it started out as a trip to Boston, turned into
I'm just kidding.
A fun thing. But yeah, no, I plan on visiting every state.
It started out as a trip to Boston, and then it turned into a fun thing, implying that the trip to Boston wasn't really fun.
Let me sell you something about Boston.
Good luck. Give it a try.
So it's fun. I mean, I love it. I love the history. I love most things about Boston. That said, when you're on the road, have you seen the film Mad Max, the new Mad Max Fury Road?
I've seen all of them.
It's like that, just 1,000 times worse. That's all.
Oh, well, that's just...
The roads were formed, did you know, by old cattle roads? So it was literally made by cows, the road system.
To be fair, that's how a lot of roads in a lot of states were made.
Yeah, that's true.
If they're old enough, I guess.
I can't even like verbally describe how insane the drivers and roads were in Boston. But then it made me feel better because I looked it up and it's like literally just constantly rated as the worst place to be in a vehicle. So,
that's insane.
Worse than Oklahoma. Wow.
Yeah, worse than like LA, worse than I mean basically anywhere. I know Louisiana was up there on the list, and like I've been there, and that was like fine in comparison. Actually, I've been in LA too, and that was okay. But I don't know.
LA is just traffic. Ugh. Houston is the worst,
like,
I think.
their roads are fine. It's the traffic that's horrible.
It's actually like a miracle of infrastructure to be in, like LA on the 405. I mean, I say that because I don't live there. Like people in LA are like, Jesus Christ.
People from LA are messaging us right now and be like, you don't fucking know.
You don't know shit. Yeah.
No, Houston's terrible though.
To be
because
fair,
it's not even like good roads, and none of the roads have signs, and everybody's a terrible idiot, inconsiderate jerk. It's just
so
the
many
worst.
people down there too. Like Austin's the same way.
Oh, so full of people.
To be fair, as a person who lives in a pretty big city now, it takes a while to get places in big cities, no matter what.
That's just how it is. Yeah, that's just how it is.
Minneapolis has like bike lanes, doesn't it?
They do. We're very pedestrian friendly up here.
That's nice.
There's a lot of bike lanes. Some of the bikers get a little too big for their britches.
Sure.
But you can't do anything about it because that's your fault if you hit them.
Yeah.
You know.
And you will probably kill them.
More than likely.
Oklahoma City's getting a trolley system.
They're getting it
moving
back.
on up.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Because
giving
they
it
used
back.
to have trolleys. We went on a fun mansion tour yesterday morning right before we went to the class reunion. It was the how do you say it? Overholser Mansion. That's what it is. Basically, this dude overhauling, right? Like now that I'm trying to say it on a podcast on a public recording, like nobody, like I can't fucking say it. Anyway,
oh well.
So basically, this dude built a bunch of buildings, a bunch of businesses, a bunch of prefab houses, and he also built the trolley system, which again they're bringing back now. Yeah, pretty fun.
That's crazy.
But we visited his house, which was like a crazy, beautiful mansion and now a museum, and real spooky. It's fun. If you have like $10 and you want to see a cool spooky house, go to mansion. That's
I love spooky houses.
my advice. Anyway, it's funny because I just had that piece of history, like that anecdote that I wanted to throw out there.
Speaking of creepy houses, I'm reading Jane Eyre right now.
Ooh, Jane Eyre.
Have you guys read that one?
Jane Eyre?
I haven't read
Yes.
I haven't read Jane Eyre.
It's a good one.
I should
This
read Jane Eyre.
this would be the
I
first
know
time I've
a
ever
lot
read it.
about Jane Eyre, but I haven't read it.
Yeah.
Brock, what is your, just because I want this recorded, what is your opinion on Jane Austen?
Yeah, we had a lively discussion. She's not literature.
I wouldn't.
No, I don't want to bring that back up.
I believe my exact words were, I have a lot of respect for her place in history and her place in literature, especially.
Good hedging.
Yeah. I don't have an extreme opinion about it. I'm just saying that it's hard for me to actually read, say, Pride and Prejudice. It's not a fun experience for me.
That's fine.
I'm not. I know. Like, I would want to hear like, fuck her, but like, I don't actually feel that way. I really
No, you do. You do,
Yeah.
deep down.
Deep down,
You just hate her.
I want to say that. I wish I
You
could
hate
enjoy
women, really.
Pride and Prejudice.
Oh wow, this took
I
a turn.
wish.
Yeah. You don't like Jane Austen, you hate women.
Wow.
I don't really think that's how that is.
That's science.
Really
It's
where I was
science.
going with that argument. No.
Not a fan of that argument. Not.
Oh, you
Mostly-
disagree.
Also, if I remember correctly, Josh Forrester said, on top of the fact that he once said sluts are good, just a few minutes ago, he said,
Like, you mean a few minutes
I really
ago?
hate Jane Austen. Yeah. Yeah.
I, at one time,
I don't know
did
what,
not
what
like Jane
changed,
Austen.
Josh. Like, what changed? Why do you enjoy it?
I became
'Cause I've read it,
mature and less misogynistic, really. That's what happened.
because because if you dislike Jane Austen, clearly you're a misogynist.
Yeah,
That's what that
100%. And that's
I
what
would agree with
happened.
that. I would agree with
Well,
that.
you know, I could agree with that because I don't dislike Jane Austen. I just
Good-
dislike reading
Now he
the act of
reels it
reading
back
Pride
in.
and
Cover.
Prejudice.
Yeah.
I'm fine
Yeah, it's
with-
good.
Backpedaling on Brock's part, I feel like.
Yeah.
No, man. Yeah, for some reason, because did you guys take the STAR test in elementary school?
I was there with
Remember
you,
those?
Josh. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course, yeah, Brock,
Well,
you did.
yeah.
Brock, aren't you a grade below though?
No,
But
we're the same grade.
he's the same grade.
Yeah, we went to
He's
kindergarten.
just really young.
Okay, that makes
Considering
that
in that
question
grade.
that makes you
High
asking
school,
both
yeah.
of us that question even funnier. Did you guys take the STARS test? I was there, Josh. We were in class
Did you
together.
guys have kindergarten
Did you take
when
the
you were-
STAR test?
I did. I was in Oklahoma at the time. That's where I grew up.
Not
so
everyone did it, all right. Not
Yeah, that's
everyone
true.
did
That
accelerated
is very
reader.
true.
I do remember that.
Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted by legitimate questions to my questioning.
concern for the question.
Yeah, so I assume both of you guys scored pretty high, being English majors and all. So yeah, the
don't
first
fucking
time
remember.
I was introduced to Pride and Prejudice, I was probably like 5th grade. So did not enjoy it. I kept going back to it, trying to enjoy it, and just never did until like literally I think it was last week. I sat down and just read it in 3 days. I was like, man, this is really good.
Wow.
I don't know why I never knew.
I never. Wow.
But I guess the reason is that that time period has become super fascinating to me just because of the whole idea of dowries and giving away your daughters and giving away like money and stuff like that. It's like how did people live and how did they transition out of that time period? Because I know a lot about the modern period, I know a lot about medieval period, but I don't know too much about Victorian Romantic period. I know a lot about the Romantic writers, but not like the history and culture and stuff like that. And that's all Pride and Prejudice is like, this is how rich people lived in the early 1800s, which is pretty cool.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I love all that particular stuff, especially about that book. I mean, I love the history, just trying to figure out how people live. Even if I don't enjoy reading the book, I do love the history, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
I read Pride and Prejudice for the first time my freshman year of high school, and I loved it immediately. I've read it
That's
twice,
impressive.
so
I would have been way too immature to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
what
still
is
am.
this? What did I like freshman year? I don't even know. Probably Catcher in the Rye. Yeah.
it was alright.
I think last year I finally read Catcher in the Rye, and
So angsty.
It's like, yeah, no, it's like it's funny to me. Like I get the irony in saying meh, it's okay. Like it's funny
Right,
to
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like I get it. It's not. It is what it is, I guess, and so I enjoy its place too. It was an easy read.
it's
so
not,
there's that.
it's no To Kill a Mockingbird, but whatever.
Not many things are.
Which is a
Kill
weird
Mockingbird.
Which is a weird comparison if you think
Really
about it. But
weird comparison, but if we're talking
no
about books that I
Macbeth,
read,
but,
I mean, I did immediately love To Kill a Mockingbird in high school.
Immediately.
I mean, I've always loved.
I immediately loved The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby.
Tom
Great
Sawyer,
Gatsby's-
or not Tom
Gatsby's
Sawyer,
fun.
Huckleberry
Tom-
Finn was my favorite.
Tom Sawyer was my favorite, actually. I like it more than Huck Finn.
What?
Yeah.
Blasphemer?
Whatever.
You just don't like a
Enjoyed them
strong black lead. That's your problem. We got a racist and a
all right,
misogynist
so I'm
on this
racist
podcast
and
now.
Brock is misogynistic, and
both. That's what we decided.
all right.
Yep.
Jesus. Well,
We gotta
what's
find.
Josh?
don't
Yeah,
agree
what's
with-
my
A
deep dark
slut
secret?
shamer,
I don't
from
agree with
Italy.
that. I don't agree with that, but
Slut-shamed
whatever.
Islands.
Those poor
Yeah,
islands. I feel sorry
you're
for.
just just I don't what would you call it? It's-
Just a real bad person.
yeah, you're just a bad person.
Oh man.
I'm glad we did this podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, like, so whoever's still here, good for you. You know how
else
we
can
When he
usually
Alien.
says when he says you, he means that one person that's still here.
That's Tyler.
Adam.
I was talking to Tyler that
It's Adam.
Yeah.
Adam Choate.
We love you.
I'm glad we have a fan.
Thinking of Jim and Huckleberry Finn. Tyler, I know Brock has. Have you ever taken those DNA tests before?
What do you mean those DNA tests?
Like any DNA test to see
Like
what your heritage is?
Ancestry.com or
Yeah.
Oh,
23andMe.
no. I haven't taken any of those. I want
You
to,
totally
but I
should.
haven't.
You totally should. It's mind blowing.
It is mind blowing. I'm like a 16th Choctaw, although that didn't show up on the test. That was something I found out separately because
That's
it
something
turns
you
out.
made. That was something you made up.
Yeah, that's something I just made up. No, it's I
Gotta get
guess
those
like
CDBI or CDIB cards.
yeah. So
benefits.
it's weird how it works because I think 23andMe gets it, but for some reason Ancestry doesn't pick up on Native unless you're like half or more, basically. So
racist.
but we
That's
found out
racist.
about that partially because of the family tree from Ancestry.com. And to answer your question, no, I don't get a CDIP card because it
You have
turns
to
out they
be
didn't
an
register.
eighth, right?
Well, no, you can be up to like 1,000. I don't know, like a
Oh,
crazy
really?
number. Yeah,
You
like
can be very
the
low,
16th
but if
is
the tribe,
really high. Yeah.
or heritage like isn't registered, they won't count it.
Yeah, it was neat finding out the history and like basically they gave natives the option like assimilate or you can register, and at the time assimilating, like marrying into a white person and just giving it all away, was like safer and more preferable, and so
Yeah.
that's what my ancestor did. So.
Because America has always been great.
Yeah, I don't see, why are we still giving them stuff? It's not like I did.
I love that's probably my favorite mentality of just like, well, I didn't do it.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't do that racist thing.
Why do they get free stuff?
Like I didn't do it. Yes,
White
we
people
know
ain't ever
you,
got nothing.
I was just like,
Yeah,
we know
we
you
never got
didn't do
nothing.
it. It's not like you're getting punished. I don't understand. It's like, well, I didn't do it. Why am I
Yeah.
getting punished? Well, how are you getting punished? Nothing's happening to you.
Man, yeah. Did you find out any other cool stuff about your heritage, Brock?
Me, I mean, I'm very Viking, pretty Irish. That one's obvious. More
Yeah.
Scottish than that. A little bit Middle Eastern.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
a little bit. Like, yeah, I mean, a decent number, like 20. So I don't know. Like a decent
it
amount.
say-
I don't know exactly.
Sorry, you said Middle Eastern. You mean where the supposed origin of the world is?
Yeah,
I'm not-
but like
I'm not-
within
I'm not
the past-
super-
Yeah,
I'm not
within,
super
like, the past
surprised, so-
however many years. Yeah.
Yeah, he has an ancestor close enough to be able to trace it through DNA.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Which
Was it?
I mean,
Was it Jesus?
it was Jesus.
Yeah, probably. He had brothers.
It's like you have to go pretty far back.
Did
on my
he? I
tree
don't
anyway.
remember reading that in the Bible.
Did he have brothers?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has brothers. They weren't
not-
by God, but
I'm not saying you're
Joseph and
wrong.
Mary.
I'm saying I don't
Be
remember that in the
stepbrothers,
Bible.
Yeah. They'd be stepbrothers, I guess. Because it would be God and Mary, that's Jesus, and then Joseph and Mary, the rest of his brothers.
That'd be half brothers.
Yeah, half brothers. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I meant. Half brothers.
Because Jesus is a demigod.
Well, no, he's
Don't
God.
stay silent. That's what it is.
Jesus is God. It would be like Zeus.
you know,
Zeus
yeah.
having a child, but that child is also Zeus. See how
So-
much sense it makes?
Is your child also Brock? Is that what you're saying? Because
Nope.
that's what I got out of that.
Well, wouldn't his child also be Josh, if we're going with that?
Nope,
would
I'm
be-
still in
Unless you're...
disguise.
Oh, okay, yeah. Brock just insinuated something pretty heavy, actually.
Oh, I did, and I didn't mean to.
Oh,
Sorry,
you
Josh
say?
and Lacey. That's not actually what I meant. I made that joke way too weird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Wait a second. Yeah.
Where were you on the night of, when was that?
Brock, took that away
was
so
that?
quickly when he realized what he'd
No, I
actually
shut it
said.
up. I was like, that's a
Oh,
good joke,
God.
but probably not for the podcast.
That, ladies and
probably
gentlemen,
too
is
much.
apparently where the line was.
That's my line.
Freudian.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, it would be like basically it would be like God saying, all right, I have an egg of myself and a sperm of myself. I'm going to put them together in a test tube and then stick them in this virgin, and she's going to give birth to this
I've done
child.
that before.
I don't know if I've ever...
Who hasn't done that?
I don't know if I have ever properly thanked you for your explanation of
did you-
Bible things to me, Josh. And I do. I want you to know from the
Yeah.
bottom of my heart, I appreciate it so much.
No, it makes so much sense, right?
And this isn't just podcast. I'm talking about as long as I've known Josh and how Josh explains Bible things to me.
But
Like all those hours at the writing center of
Yes.
me just asking a question of a person who has read the Bible through twice, but I'm not a religious person. Josh finds the best ways to explain things.
That is
does.
theoretically possible, though. I can't remember if it's which way it is, but if you have an egg, you can make a sperm out of it, or if you have a sperm, you can make an egg out of it. I'm pretty sure it's an egg. You can make a sperm, and then so a woman could technically have a child that's 100% her DNA.
Ooh, what if the first person that does that, and like the child is the second coming of Jesus?
Is the Antichrist?
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What
Hey,
is-
this is that
yours?
perfect. Hey, somebody, if only there was video, someone could meme this with that there are two types of people thing.
Go automatically to the dark side.
A woman who never had intercourse with a man gives birth to a savior. There are two types of people. One says Jesus, the other says Jedi.
Well,
One says Jesus, the other says Anakin.
we do talk about that in mythology, like how pretty much every modern story has its basis in mythology. And how pretty much Star Wars and Harry Potter is just the Bible.
Well, Josh, we
Jar Jar is
literally,
just the devil.
we literally, the three of us in our the Bible as literature class did a presentation on video games stories that were taken from the Bible.
Yes.
Did you ever play the game El Shaddai?
I never got to play it. I know all
I got
about
to play it.
'cause-
I got to play it. It was pretty fun. It's not the best game ever. It was pretty fun, but you know that it is a retelling of the Apocrypha Book of Enoch.
Yes.
It
Which
is.
I got to teach the Book of Enoch, which is a lot of fun.
It's
too.
actually a really, really interesting book.
Yeah, it's crazy with the
With the
sons of men, the giants, and the demons, and all that, and the angels. It's
The
cool.
Watchers,
Yes, the Watchers. Yes.
which is actually one of the places that the angel Azazel comes from. That's
Yes.
one of the stories.
There's so many angel names that come from that book that never get mentioned again. Mm-hmm. It's cool. Actually, it's a reference in the New Testament. I don't know why they made it apocryphal. It's just a cool story.
I don't think it was in line with what they were wanting.
This angel stuff is too out there.
I think it's the same reason any book was made apocryphal. This is not really the message we're wanting to send.
I guess. Yeah.
Was this really what
Well, the
we
Bible-
want people thinking about the Bible?
The Bible is really good about putting terrible stories about their heroes in there along with the good stories. That's
Yeah.
why I love it. King David's probably one of the worst human beings
Right.
during certain times in his life, but
Starts
one of
out-
the best ever.
Starts out pretty cool. Later on, wow.
Murder and rape and yeah, it's pretty
Like if anything, I feel like the Bible is like, hey, are you a hero? Not for long.
great. You won't be.
Everybody ends bad except
You
Jesus.
will be humbled. even he got killed, so pretty brutally. So
Yeah, but he came back.
he came back. Yeah, he got better.
Yeah.
He did.
I got
He,
better.
he slept it off. He got a few nights rest. Slept it off.
Well, I was crucified. I got better.
Put
I
you,
wonder if you could get better from being
get you out,
crucified. That would hurt.
get you out in the sun.
Like, would those wounds ever close up, or do you just have to chop your hand off? I don't know.
Why would you? It's just,
Let's try it out.
I feel like that's excessive. Like if they don't heal, I don't feel like you'd have to cut your hand off. You just be like, okay, I got some scars on my hands.
Well, it's a huge hole in your hand. Would that ever heal? I don't know. Let's try. Like I said, let's try it out next podcast. I'll get the nails.
Cool. Josh, you do that and let me know how it goes.
All right.
I volunteer as person who put you up on the cross.
Yes.
I'm not there, so you guys are gonna have to tell me how this goes.
Yeah. Like 2 weeks later, Josh really hurt himself. We crucified him.
He's gonna need about 3 days,
It's going to be at least 3
and
days
we
for him to
hope
fill
that
all
that's
At
enough
least.
for him to get better.
I hit
need
him
to
with
find
that
a
whip,
tomb.
and just his organs came out. It was rough.
His organ.
That whip. What I actually mean is I hit him with a cat o' nine tails, which is what
It
that
was actually jumper cables because that's all we had.
Jumper cable.
Oh
My dad
Jesus!
hit me with those jumper cables.
God, I love that.
Okay, I thought Josh knew what I was talking about. That's
Yes. Have you ever read that, Tyler?
Oh, no.
I don't even know where
Oh
to
my
find it. It was
God.
like just this account that
Have we
kept
got a
popping up
treat
on
for you?
Reddit. And it was like,
I don't spend a lot of time on Reddit.
it's like, it's hard to explain, but basically nobody even noticed for a long time that he just kept replying to these posts, and all of his stories led back to his dad taking him out back and hitting him with these jumper cables, and like,
Like, he would give, like, they seem like legitimate answers to ask me anything questions and stuff like that. And it would be, like, going on smooth, and then the jumper cables every single time.
they're like, it's that fucking jumper cable guy.
God dig it. Just have to go back through his history and read all of them. They're incredible.
It's good stuff.
Wow. He's retired now, though.
I would hope
Oh
so.
wow, good. Yeah, he got hit.
He
He's,
finally got. Yeah.
he's earned it.
He succumbed to his wounds.
He's dead. He'll be back in 3 days.
He'll be back. It's been a while, guys.
I might need to get off here.
I think,
I think we got a good.
got a
update.
good, completely nonsensical podcast episode on us right
We
there.
did it. Yeah.
We will talk about Solo in the future, though.
And Jessica Solo, Jessica Jones,
Yes,
A
Jessica
Quiet
Jones.
Place, lots of stuff.
You guys got to watch The Expanse. Watch that.
Heard so many good things.
That or Westworld, or both. Just do both.
Or both.
Watch both. Yeah.
I need to watch Lost in Space actually.
Lost
We're
in
lucky.
Space, yeah.
By the next time I talk to you guys, maybe I'll have seen the newest Arrested Development. But that's all I got.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Had you seen Lost in Space, Brock? Who was
haven't
I
seen
talking to that had seen that? Maybe it was Lance. I don't know.
Maybe.
It was good.
Did Lance get your couch?
Not yet.
bearing all that in mind,
Yes.
you know us, you love us. We are the Nerd Cult Podcast at nerdcultpodcast.com. We're on iTunes. Give us a review and a rating. We're on patreon.com/thenerdcult, where you can catch our Dungeons & Dragons podcast, Tales from the Crits. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. You can email us at nerdcultpodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at _TylerArley_.
You can find me on Twitter at Brocculonatron. And I said it correctly that time.
You did. I'm so proud.
You can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me in Tecumseh, Oklahoma,
God.
the country of the United States of America, on planet Earth,
Filled by
continent North
humans.
Nope, that last one's false.
America. Shoot, one day you'll find me on the moon. You'll find me
Nope, you'll be dead by
in, the,
that point.
in the stars. I'm gonna download my brain into the cloud.
Nope, I'm gonna delete it.
And delete it. My children are sitting around the computer screen.
Tyler just comes in. He's gone now.
I think basically what I'm trying to do here is I'm
Because you didn't let me
really
see Lincoln that one time.
holding out to be the villain in the radio drama. So
We need to have a download your brain kind of story arc,
okay.
like Altered Carbon, but with less nudity.
I'm into
Because you
it.
can't really do nudity on the radio.
You can't do nudity on the radio, and that's the issue.
Well, actually, that's the problem is you can, but no one knows.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll crunch some numbers. Get back to you. Don't you?
With that in mind,
Don't you worry about it.
Thanks for joining the cold. Once again, I'm 1/3 your host, Tyler Lee.
I'm Brock Parsons.
Never don't bubble boy.
That's not your name.
That's Josh. I'm stopping. I'm stopping.